welcome to Speak Geek with Pedro, and also Pedro. If you're wondering what the hell's going on, so what happened is last week we recorded our episode, and due to some technical difficulties, we ended up having to record it on Audacity, which in turn ended up sounding like shit. But I liked the episode's content so much that I felt like I needed to somewhat salvage it. So you're going to hear some choppiness, some weird audio problems. I did my best with it. Once again, Audacity was kind of shitty. And I'm going to go ahead and guide you through this episode in a sense. And just to give you an idea of how... I guess I should add that we were all incredibly tired from the day before. And we were no physical... We were how would I put it? We were lazy. We were really tired. We were just lazy. And it's apparent. And let me give you a taste of how apparent that was.
Welcome to Speak Geek. You assholes.
There you go.
Welcome to Speak Geek, your weekly video game podcast with Pedro the Great, Travis the Meek, Burnley the Terrible, and George
the Smelly.
You're
smelly.
I'm your host.
Man, everybody.
Wait, you're just.
Why is everybody so tired?
You're one of those.
Disneyland took a lot out of me,
man.
man.
You didn't get to sleep last night or something?
I did, but I had to wake up.
I slept
on my way to work.
I had to wake up at 4:30 to get to to work. So I got very little sleep. I went straight to bed when I got home too.
Did you? Okay.
Like right after you guys dropped me off, I went straight in, brushed my teeth, and.
You guys are like dead. Like, I can
No, I'm pretty wide awake.
No, I can just see it in your eyes.
Oh yeah.
I can
That's
see
it.
it in your eyes.
I don't know.
I
I just wanted to sing along though.
I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in
Your smile, boo.
Your smile.
Alright.
Hello. Oh, you're all I ever wanted.
Anyway,
Hello.
video games.
Alright.
Not exactly off to a good start, are we? So anyways, as we were about to delve into video games, George felt like he needed to share his Disneyland story about meeting Chris Evans.
Okay,
And
so
here it
yesterday
is.
we went to Disneyland, right?
Oh, that's a good story. Because we all know what happens already. But go ahead.
Travis, shut up.
It's the tired talking now. It's taking over.
So I go to Disneyland with Pedro and the gang. The gang.
Now we're the gang?
They're my gang.
Pedro's the only one that gets named. Fine, screw you. Me and the gang over here are going to go do something else.
Pedro and the gang this fall on CBS.
No, you don't gotta have a better one. You be like, oh, see, I Pedro.
Oh, yes.
I coming in. Here's my buddy Jose.
Alright.
Okay, here's the story.
So, go to Disneyland, and we're getting the Splash Mountain, right? This is our second time, right? It was after our
It's second time, because Pedro is the one that was soaked this time.
Okay, so it's after our second time on Splash Mountain. We're gonna go to like Haunted Mansion or something. So we go, and as soon as we get out, I see this guy just wearing all black, black sunglasses, black hat, just like what was it? Just what did he have on?
It's like a tracksuit.
Just a tracksuit?
Yeah, like black Adidas pants type of thing that you like wear to a track meet, or in a black like kind of similar fabric jacket, and then a black hat, and then black sunglasses.
Okay, yeah. So he's just dressed in all black, and he looked quite familiar as I was passing, because he must have been like a foot away from me. So as I just go away, I was like, oh, okay, let's go to our next destination. And I was like, my first thing was, why is there a cast member right next to this person? As I look and turn around, it's like she's just hanging out with them, kind of like an escort. I was like,
yeah, it's fair,
right? So then I was like, and I looked closer, kind of, and I was like, that looks like Chris Evans, which that's for all you geeks out there, Captain America, Human Torch. This is the actor.
That's about it.
That's all I could think. Oh no, wait.
He did the movie Push.
He did Push. He did. And then if you guys didn't know, if you guys don't remember, he also did Was that teen? Not another teen movie. Did you guys see that one?
Oh yeah, that was like his first film,
yeah,
wasn't
it was
it?
like his first film.
What,
Yeah.
what was he in there?
He was the
He was
main
like
dude.
the main dude.
Was he?
Yeah.
He was the dude with the
cool,
where he
the
puts the
jock.
banana in his butt and the with
Yeah, yeah,
cream all over his
yeah,
crotch.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sure his parents were proud.
Hey, you know, I bet you they don't care because they're proud now because he's been in $1 billion movie.
That's true.
So he just got a
Maybe.
fat payout.
Maybe.
The Avengers. All right. So, anyways, I was like, oh, it's like, and I go to Travis. I'm like, Travis, like, is that Chris Evans? Does that look like Chris Evans to you? And he's like, yeah, it actually, yeah, it looks like him. It looks like him. I was like, oh my god, like, I have to get an autograph or a picture or something. Like, it's not every day you actually walk.
You have to understand that the rest of us were all
Didn't give a
we
shit.
didn't care one bit. So we walked up. We were halfway
Haunted
on
Mansion,
to
yeah.
Haunted Mansion again.
And he's still
And then
looking
George-
back.
He's still looking
And he's
back.
like looking at us, looking back, looking at us,
He's like, I
looking
don't
back.
understand this. They don't care.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, it's not every day you see Chris Evans.
Yes, you do.
No,
you
nah,
just fight in the Avengers.
shut up. Anyways, so I was like, okay, I want to get an autograph. I want to get a picture. It'd be cool. So then, these guys are like, oh, go get it. Fine, go get it. So I didn't want to seem like, like a fool if in case it turned out it wasn't him. So as I followed down to where they were at, they apparently went to the restroom or something like that, and the cast member was outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked the cast member, it's like, I'm sorry to, like bug you or anything, but is that Chris Evans who you're escorting? And then she's all like, it's like, oh no, that he really looks like him though. He gets that a lot, but no, that's not Chris Evans. I was like, oh, it's like, oh, bummer. Okay, I just didn't want to go up to him and then him saying no, kind of, because that would have been lame. So then I was like, okay, it was better than the word I was gonna say. Substituted for something else.
Good call.
Thank you. So I was like, okay. So then I go to the guys. It wasn't him. It was whatever. But I go about my day. We had a blast. And then as we come back, they drop me off. Travis texts me. Yeah, my girlfriend said that. It was him.
Which
like
is
the
a
cast.
low move, Travis. You couldn't have just let it go. You're like, I'm gonna ruin his day. I'm gonna ruin his day. I just have
big
to.
old post.
What-
Online
what-
pissed.
Yeah, he blew up.
I didn't read it. What did he do in the car after I told him? Was he still in the car with you guys?
No, we didn't
No.
find out until we
Just
got on
dropped
Facebook.
We just dropped him off, and Josie's like, Jose, comes on, Nasser, who comes on every once in a while. He's like, what is George so pissed about? I'm like, what? Like, he was pretty happy when we just dropped him off. He's like, no, something about Chris Evans. I'm like, okay, so we checked out the post, and there you go.
Seems like death to the
Murdered his
family
life.
of that cast member. May she burn in a pit of fire. Chris Evans, I love you. I don't even know. Like,
I thought I'd tell him that because it truly would have been nice just to live with that thought, but I couldn't hold it to myself to be like,
you used it
yes.
as a poison mushroom, though. Can you imagine? He would have exploded. He would have exploded. Oh, George smash.
So that's what happened. That cast member. If I ever see you again.
I'm gonna strangle you.
Apparently, bad things will happen.
Yeah, bad things will happen. Bad things. But I could have had at least an autograph from him.
So after George regaled us with that great story, for some reason Travis started getting a little not in a I'm not saying this in a bad way, but a little homoerotic. For a straight male, he was getting a little weird. And yeah, I'll just let you guys listen to Travis's man crush, if you will.
He did like the Four Brothers where he was, kind of decent size, and then he just freaking got huge. What movie was that? Same with Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth did the same for Thor. He played Thor.
Okay.
Like because before that movie he was kind of not really scrawny, but he was a decent muscular sized dude. And then it was like I remember watching an interview with him where it said like 5 or 6 months he just bulked the hell up. Like, did you see those first photos of him lifting that?
Why are we talking so much about dudes working out?
God, like I had never noticed. Nor do I care, dude.
Sorry. All right. So,
Can we go back to video games?
you know, I really, and we can talk.
Working out.
We can talk about Katy Perry's tits because she's got some big.
No, that's disrespectful.
Oh
we can
my
talk
God.
about the Kardashian again.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my God, the
Katy
Kardashian.
Perry is a lady. Kim Kardashian is the fucking devil. There's a difference.
Hey, but she had a great porno.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, we're going. Okay.
Yep. So the train wreck didn't exactly end there either, because then Travis treated us to his rousing rendition of a David Bowie song, and that's when Burnley just lost his shit.
Dude.
That was funny.
Okay.
Oh, I'm singing it. Put this iPod right next to the
I didn't say I was singing it. How tired are you? I said I'm not singing it. I have my iPhone.
Sing it!
Why are you putting
Sing it.
Why are you doing this?
What are you doing?
Ground control to Major Tom.
You guys, I feel like we should pause this.
Check
Guys, go
your
to sleep.
vitals. Oh,
We
take
come
your
back and
protein
do
pills
this.
and check your vitals. Oh, Major
What
Tom.
is this? What is this? what is going on? You guys.
This is amazing. Okay, shut up.
Okay.
Shut up, this is amazing. Everyone's gonna think this is the stoned episode of fucking Speak Geek.
Here we go get the chorus. Ready?
I don't know
We're
the
actually
chorus.
doing it, huh?
Here we go. We all gotta sing, guys. Ready?
What's the chorus?
You'll know it when it comes to it.
Oh, okay.
This is ground control.
Yeah, man, you're simple and clean. Simple and clean.
Okay.
When you walk away, you won't hear me say. okay, shut up. God damn it. My only wish is that this was a live show.
This is gonna be at the live. I don't know why. I have a feeling that at a live show, someone is taking their shirt off for some reason.
What?
I don't know why. I just for some reason like picture Burnley being the one with his shirt off.
First talking about dudes working out, now taking his shirts
We
off.
talked about girls' boobs for a little bit, but you guys seem to
That's your beard, huh, man?
I enjoy a good boot ob. I like holding women's boot obs.
I said we talked about
a priest.
We talked about
Maybe a bikini.
Oh my god.
We talked about boobs for a little bit, but you're the one who got off the topic because you said you respect women.
Oh, I do respect women, which is why I wanted to talk. Thank you for the segue. Oh, was past Pedro happy for that segue. So anyways, guys, we're coming up on the meat of this episode, which is what I wanted to save. Hopefully we haven't blown your ears out too much at this point. So up next was a discussion on, well, it was originally a discussion on women's role and their effect in video games, I guess. It was just how they're portrayed and whatnot, and how we can improve on this situation where obviously video games are a male-driven and dominated culture. And so yeah, that's a discussion on that, and then we kind of peter off into other things, and yeah, enjoy this, which I think is one of the best discussions we've had. So here you go.
Well, going into high school, I didn't have anything really to relate with. Like, I had friends and stuff like that, but I didn't have any. I felt like alone and really sheltered, like I tell you guys. And the way I opened up was through punk rock music, going to punk rock shows, hanging out with friends, and specifically.
Not the one in Anaheim, though.
Not the one in Anaheim. Not the one in Anaheim. And specifically, the band that I kind of like, in a sense. Okay, and specifically the band that like kind of like made me like, you know, I don't know, respect the community and bring me together with all these strangers and stuff like that, and made me, you know, open up in the sense that I started making music. I'm making music, writing, stuff like that, becoming more creative in a sense. And it was mainly because the lead singer was a woman. and the band was named Tsunami Bomb, and her name was Emily Whitehurst, or she went by Agent M. And even as a young kid, it surprised me that there were so little bands with lead female singers, and even to this day, it seems that the woman music community isn't as respected as much as respected. Well, let me continue my thought.
Okay.
Isn't respected as much, and it isn't as plentiful. I feel like women have very few people to look up to in the punk rock community. Okay, I tell you this because as I'm playing video games, I notice women have a very few amount of representation in video games. I mean, it's very sexualized. I mean, think of any game and think of the woman's role. She's just like, she's not usually the heroine. She's the one that's being saved. And of course the way they're drawn or rendered, they're very buxom. There's actually a rule. Let me look it up real quick. There's a rule. It's called the Bechdel test, and it basically says that think of it like a game right now. Think of any game. Think of a game where there's two women in it, that they talk to each other, and they talk to each other, and they don't talk to each other about men. That is basically the rule. Think of a game, any big game in the industry, where there has to be at least two women in it, and that they talk to each other, but they're not talking about men in it. And when you think about it, there's very few of them, And even then, for example, we have this machismo and stuff. Every representation of a guy is like this strong dude and whatever. And so basically my question is, why do you think there's so few female characters that women can look up to? I mean, you have Lara Croft, you have Alex from Half-Life 2. Those are great characters, You have Samus, Mm-hmm. But as far as anything else, why even in advertising and in the gaming industry, there's always a booth babe or stuff like that. So why do you think this is? And basically that's what I wanted to talk about. Why do you think this happens, and why do you think and how do you think it appears to me, or maybe maybe there is a lot for you to delve into, but to me it feels that you guys have almost nothing.
It's it's extremely easy. It's because the game industry is a male-driven thing. It's like comic books. It's the Power Girl.
Right.
We just talked about it. There's things out there where they're trying to really break in the female role and all that, and get those girls in there, like Tomb Raider. That's the biggest one where.
Wait, what?
What, Burley?
Nothing, go ahead.
Like Tomb Raider, where they're really trying to put them in a spotlight to show that they're not just weak women that are.
Are you sure? Specifically, this new Lara Croft?
Yeah, because they put her on an island, and from what I've read and know about the game, is they say you straight up you watch her transform from an innocent rich girl to a very hardened adventurer. It pretty much goes into the games where that you play as the original Tomb Raiders, how she dives right into the tombs, the catacombs, and does all this stuff. In this game, you learn and you watch as she does this. Now you take her from this rich person, you pull the bone rocks and sticks out of your stomach as you're bleeding to death, and you bandage yourself, and then you go into the catacombs where it's that the game will start off her being scared and terrified of it to the end of the game where she has no fear, and she'll go straight in with no dialogue.
Okay.
So,
but do you sorry,
no, go ahead.
Just to go on that point for a little bit, they make a point with this new Lara Croft or new Tomb Raider, my bad, that they're being over the top with how they're hurting.
That's
right?
true.
And so they're being over the top so that you want to coddle her. You want to take. It's not that she's
I think they're doing it. Sorry to interrupt you, Burnley. If it's all right.
It's good.
I want to say they doing that because they want you to see that she can take it. Because you see guys get thrown around like crazy. Kratos gets stabbed through the gut, and you don't sit there and go, "Oh man, I feel so bad for him." True, it's a woman. and it's a woman. But
Tomb Raider, that's what they're trying to make you do.
Yeah, exactly. But they're trying to also show you she can take it, because then she gets up and she pulls it out of her gut, the bone that goes through her, whatever it is, the stick, and she gets up and she keeps going. Like you said, you do feel that comfort, but that's just instinct. Why do we care for a child? why not just put her outside?
You see, but now you're comparing women to a child.
Exactly.
No, I'm comparing. You're taking the words too much out of my mouth.
No.
You're comparing it. I'm comparing it to the fact of how we treat women in the fact of they're soft and they're tender. All right.
But that's an issue. We like
that's not an issue.
That-
That's an American. That's a human nature.
no.
all right?
That is
That's-
the
that's-
nature
that's-
of a male-dominated culture.
No.
That's what that is.
That is the nature. That is the nature of just animals in general, of mammals.
No, man.
Name. Okay. Pick something that's a mammal.
A lioness, man.
Yeah.
What does a lioness do?
Yeah.
Is big old man lion out there?
He
protecting
protects
her?
the family
No,
while
man.
she.
Lioness goes out and fights too.
Damn, Bradley's getting worked up over
No, but
this.
it's true. It's true.
She's
The women
the
are
one-
the hunters. In the
Yeah, but the men protect him while the same time the women watch the cubs. All right, it's still the same factor of.
The males kind of just lay there.
Yeah, they're just kind of there to provide the babies, like in real life.
We don't mean like I'm definitely not meaning like to pick on you or anything.
No,
or-
I'm fine.
Okay.
We're debating. We're debating. I don't
Okay,
have
yeah,
any.
yeah.
I
This is
actually.
good, this is
I was gonna say I enjoy debating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that we do have to reckon like what I said in my little like cough there was like sure. There is
Okay.
There's
The feminine in
it's in the
Burnley's
same
coming
way.
out.
This is
It's in the same way that like like we're talking about women. Like this is definitely women are both underrepresented in the development space as well as the fictional space.
I
of
don't
the
think
world.
the development space anymore. I'm sorry.
Huh?
Women in video game, talking about like behind the scenes women, they are very abundant. But go on with what you're saying.
But what I was, no. And like,
Wait, no, continue.
what I was also gonna go say was that like it's in the same way that like oh man, I need to watch my language.
Okay, here,
Well,
let me give you an
there's
example.
no, like,
Let him
like,
finish his thought.
Is there a character that I look like? Is there a character that looks like me in a game that you can think of?
Brock. But he's an anime, never mind.
I don't. What are you getting at? Though?
I think
That's
he's
a-
saying like what. Let's say for example, I don't know what your race is, Burnley.
Well,
If I were to just like spot you, just
No,
like
no,
that,
no.
I would say probably like. See, I don't even know. I would say probably like let's just for the sake of this, let's just say like Middle Eastern, like well, that's what I'm just saying. Just for
No,
the
no,
sake
it's
of
okay,
this,
it's okay.
just for the sake of this, let's just say Middle Eastern. Where would be a Middle Eastern representation of Burnley that isn't a terrorist, or isn't just a baddie in the background that dies, that comes out and shoots you,
Prince of Persia?
like
Okay,
Prince of
good.
Persia.
Wow,
That's
good.
right. But then why is that the character that you choose
Mm-hmm.
is like the reason why it's Prince of Persia? It's because it's in Persia, right?
Mhm, it's that time
like
period.
like we hardly have characters like you don't really have a black character that's not
You got Ezio, or not
acting
Ezio.
black,
Yeah.
like it's like you don't.
We don't? What about, what's his name, from Left 4 Dead?
Lewis.
Lewis.
What about Lewis?
No, yeah, these are great because they're just
Yeah, yeah.
going to be.
These are good
characters.
examples
But-
of where they're
but
not.
there's-
George
but-
did it good.
But then you also have Barrett from Final Fantasy. You also have
Wait,
like
wait, no.
Zaz from.
Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you.
from-
I'm gonna interrupt you. You're
Shazam?
we're getting
From
way
Shazam?
too off topic of the women now. Like,
No,
we're
but-
going. What you?
Oh, this
He's
is-
building up to it.
I'm
Okay,
coming in.
All right, you're coming in for a landing here.
It's just this like we have the games industry and like just games in general are almost entirely like white male focused.
Mhm.
And because of that, both aspects of that, we don't have many representations of like what we say as minorities, and we don't. And one big minority in our games are women, and that just kind of like that we can't really see like. Can you like this? Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words, but like. It's such a problem. Is like we can't have like we won't have like great depictions of women in games. We won't have another Jade from Beyond Good and Evil
Yeah.
or Alex from Half-Life 2. Like these are one-off characters that come in once in a while. But for us to get like real great representations of the women that inhabit this world as well, we have to have more women in the space for game development.
That's the topic for off the air, because I have comments on that.
Okay.
So
I will say them, man.
no, I won't say them on the air.
Why not on the air?
Why not,
Is
man?
it
Why
bad?
not?
Is it bad?
Huh?
Okay.
They're bad?
It's they're. We're gonna.
Is it under contract or
What?
what?
No.
do you think? Well, try to keep it. Try to express yourself. And if you want me to
Okay.
go back and
Well,
just take it out, let me know.
I'm not talking about women in gaming. I'm like women making games because they're like look at Jade Raymond, you know who she is, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, producer of one of the creators of the Assassin's Creed series. Male character, female woman running the game.
Yeah.
Put a male character. Like, so my point is I get where you're coming from. But my point is you are one in millions of people that are going to buy this game or any game. All right. So when they're making a game, you have to think of it from a development standpoint. Like, all right, we have these ideas. We have these great ideas. All right, we have this strong, positive woman. But then at the same time, you throw it out there, and everyone walks by. They're like, I don't really care to play as this girl. And so then you sit there and you're like, what are we doing wrong? Well, then you decide a big old hulking guy that rips people apart. You got more people are playing it. I get where you're coming from, but in this aspect of the game sense, it has to come down to what people want and what people want to see. Yeah, they're really trying to bring in the girls. Like I said, the Tomb Raider is, of course, the most obvious one with what they're trying to do to her. But at the same time, they're very still making her harmful and making you want to, like you say, coddle her. But it comes down to who's purchasing these games, who wants to play these games, and in the end, who like what the end goal of the design is. Like, and that's the thing is a lot of those girls that play those games that I know that play games like that, they really don't care. Like, there are girls that I work with that they are so excited for the new God of War because they just enjoy the games. They don't really care to play a woman. Hell, a lot of girls I know that play WoW play as males because they don't want to be bugged as a woman because you get a lot of bugged and people bug you. They're like, hey, you're a girl in real life?
That's a whole nother topic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I play as girls
Note
all the time. I
all
get
of
bugged all the
Burnley's
time.
characters are females in
Exactly.
World of Warcraft.
So that's what I'm saying. So a lot of girls, a lot of women kind of don't want that. They don't. At least that I've some of the ones I talked to, not all of them, don't want that aspect of like we don't want to be looked at like that. And true that games depict them like that, but so that's why they want to probably just be a dude. And there's like I'll just be a dude. It's like I said, it's a very touchy subject because it's tough. Like I said, from that sense, what I'm getting at is it's just the end goal of what a creator wants to do, and that in the end, video games are someone's imagination and someone's thought, and a team's end goal and vision, and unfortunately, there's just games that like Onichombra, true that wasn't exactly a good representation of women, but they threw sex at every person. It's just sex. It's women in bikinis, samurai women. No one bought the game because no one cared. And I know. Besides the fact that it was dumb, but it was the fact that it was
Well, that might be a big part of it.
No,
so I don't know.
but
Well, yeah.
it's just the problem is that this works because the reason why we have the game industry as it is, whatever games they're making seems to work for the majority of people playing, right? Like, and those majority of people playing for the longest time and still is male. But you inherently limit your audience when you don't show them people that they could be just like. I still play video games.
Yeah.
I still love video games, But I remember being like 10 years old or whatever, and like first seeing people like cosplay, and I'm like, oh, like that's really cool, like I wanted to be a character, and then I was like, oh well, who would I want to be? I was like, first one, Cloud.
Everyone wanted to
Yeah.
be Cloud.
Everybody wanted to
Not
be
me.
Cloud.
Even
right?
this little Mexican wanted to be Cloud, man.
I wanted to be Cloud, and then like just looking at things, looking at pictures, and all I see is like oh, I want to be like this cool guy, right? Well, then I start talking to people. I talking to my friends out in school or whatever. It's like, oh, I want to be Cloud. Like we can dress up like I just thought it was like kind of like a Halloween thing. I didn't know it was this whole like conventions kind of thing. But like I remember my friends telling me like, oh well, you couldn't be Cloud. You're too dark to be Cloud. Well, which is like
That's
because
just
it's
being mean.
well, no, but it was just the idea is like, oh, well, you couldn't dress up like this because you wouldn't have that, you wouldn't seem the same. It's like when we see a black Naruto, and people
Yeah.
are commenting on black Naruto there, it's like,
Well,
It's like a white dude dressing up as Michael
Yeah, that's-
Jackson.
that's-
I mean, Michael Jordan. Sorry.
I was like, wasn't he white towards the end?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
That's the cosplaying. That just comes down to what we already know the characters are. It's like when you pick a character to play, when you put someone to play a movie character, like to represent them, a real life actor to represent a video game character. It's just like that. I mean, we're just trying to put a face to it, and the fact that it never works out is because that's who they are. We see them like that. So then, to no offense, put a darker person in the sense of a role of Cloud. Everyone's like, that's not Cloud. Like what we.
What? Which is, like, say, do I disagree with that? Yeah, definitely, because it's not what makes that character isn't just their their
No,
their skin tone.
It's not.
But I'm just saying I disagree with that part. That's all. But what I'm saying is that, like, I then started to look for other characters that I could be.
Mhm.
And so, like, what am I going to choose? And this is at the time where, like, 7 was out, 9 was out. Like,
Could
like
be
I was-
Vivi.
Yeah, I could be Vivi. Yeah, thank you. But,
Broaden
like,
your horizons,
it's just
friendly.
all these things were going on. Like, I couldn't, like, there was nothing for me, and it was something very discouraging. Like, I didn't have any concept of what rate, like.
Is this why you don't want to be Brock? Is this why?
No,
you don't
because
wanna be-
Brock's lame. Because Brock isn't cool.
Wait, Pokemon
But
Make him
it's just,
perfect, Brock.
it's just like there's so few, and it's like there will be people that can look past that or whatever. But then there are, especially like, we've all known enough like women in our lives or whatever who don't want anything to do with video games because they think that it's not for them.
Yeah, see,
And-
that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, like, and that's not. There's something wrong with that. Why can't a game? Nobody thinks like, oh well, like I can't play chess. Chess makes me look bad.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that. But not everybody. If my sister's
That's-
playing Call of Duty,
Uh-huh.
she's gonna think that something's that, like, knowing my sister, she thinks that something's like, oh, I can't, I couldn't play this game, or like, oh, well, I shouldn't play this game. Isn't for me, and that's not fair.
I just gotta say that's a sense of your opinion, honestly, because I mean I get exactly what you're saying, but like I said, I think it's just a sense of opinion because there are like I said, there are girls out there that I know that will play games right up there with the boys and they don't care, and then there are other girls like my girlfriend who she sees games but she doesn't really care for them, and it's not that she doesn't want to play them. She's tried them and she plays iPhone games and she plays games. It's that she just in the end doesn't really care. She's like, it's not about having a strong woman figure. It's not about doing any of that. She's just like, I just really don't care to play games. Just like people that don't care to read comics. It's a book with pictures, but they just don't care, and they're like, it's not for me. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm just saying that I think in the end it's a sense of opinion. It doesn't come down to we need to emasculate these women, put them out there, show them that they're their own people, so that women will play. It's not that. I think it's just a sense of if someone's into it, honestly.
I just want more range in the kinds of characters.
Yeah.
More what?
I just want more range in the kinds of characters.
More range.
My
Okay.
girlfriend, she plays she's playing Gears of War with me, and she murders me. She's way better at it than I am.
She's way better in Left 4 Dead. for
Yes.
sure.
And
just to kind of like, in a sense, wrap it up, I guess. Okay, so I guess what I wanted to say is I kind of want the game market just kind of not shift towards more like Burnley said, for example. I wanted to shift more into just a range of characters. I don't want just like them to reboot like Devil May Cry and make them black. That doesn't matter to me. Or make Mario. Like a woman. That doesn't matter to me. That's like just cheap. That's just someone being like, here's a Mario for you. It's a girl now, Maria. What I want is, like, for example, what he said, a range of characters. And I guess what I want is, just as a final thought for everyone, or I guess everyone just to, get that final thought off their chest is, how would you go about fixing this? What do we need to do as an industry to, basically what Brennan said, like, get a better range of characters? Like, Travis, you're right. It's a male-dominated industry, and obviously what sells is going to put it out there. But even then, I have to agree with Burnley. Like, why does it always have to be a strong, white male guy? Why can't it be, like I said, it all comes down to the character development. I could give a shit if it's a guy or a girl, but there's definitely a big misinterpretation of a lot of us. You know, a lot of us.
All right, one final thought, mainly for me, to try and answer that. So it seemed like that's kind of where we drifted into, was the why is it always just a white male? That just comes down to mainly because it's easy. Okay, it's extremely tough in a world we live in where when Grand Theft Auto came out, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where you had CJ, a black guy from the hood. The game got crap because they were saying they're racist, and they're like, "What are you talking about? We're just making a guy from the hood trying to do this like kind of dark story like this." And so that was their black guy. So it's tough in a world we live in when you have the people out there that do that, like Grand Theft Auto being rated M. That's an adult game, but we have parents that throw a fit. My kids are playing it. How are they playing it? You're the parent.
Yeah.
So it comes down to, why are we using a white guy? Because they're the easiest. What if I throw Jose in a game in a first-person shooter? I'm gonna have all probably Mexicans after me, like, what, are you being racist against Mexicans? Having Mexicans killed Mexicans?
Same thing with what happened with Resident Evil 5.
It's this exactly with when they had Sheva, because she was an African American and he was in Africa, and like, why you got
Not only that,
well,
but
why you got to kill black people?
They
were
in Africa.
They were killing.
Oh, they thought. I mean, you're in Africa.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. They're like, why? A lot of community spoke out, and they're like, Capcom, you guys are racist. You're killing black people. And they're like, no, we're not. They're in Africa. What are we gonna kill? White people in Africa? Like, it's how it goes. And in the end, it's a white guy because it's easy. If I threw an Indian person in there, you have all the Indians be like, "What are you guys doing? Why is he an Indian? Why is he not working at the Quickie Mart?" Like, they just do they would do something stupid like that. All right, and that's my final opinion. And why it's a general white guy is because the white people honestly are an easy target.
Okay.
Because we can throw a white person in a game and we can make them whatever we want, and people really won't care. People are going to be like, all right, that's cool. But then we'll have those people that are like, why is it got to be a white guy? Why can't it be someone else? Because it's that thought of, if we do someone else, we run the risk of a huge backlash from some community, like the NAACP. Like if it was a black guy, you run a huge backlash to them and be like, why does it got to be a black guy killing people? You're just representing the black people. They're not going for that, but it's that sense of they don't want to be attacked. It's creative people, like for Burnley and me and George, who want to be game designers.
I'm not creative.
You're very creative, but like from that sense of,
He starts crying. You fucking crying.
Okay, we're gonna end it. That's Speak Geek this week. No, continue. I'm sorry.
From that sense of what we want to do. Like, honestly, tell me, guys. Like, if you threw, I mean, maybe it would be different because if like, you know, a Mexican came out and said, this is the game we're making, maybe it would be different because you'd have the Mexican community support. But if, like, I came out and I'm like, hey, guys, I got Miguel Rodriguez and I'm doing this game where he's down going, you know, killing these people or killing zombies, like, I probably would get crap. Not from the general, probably, society, but I probably have some group of people attack me.
You'll always have somebody.
Exactly. I'll have somebody attack me and be like, why is a white guy got to make this Mexican game? Like, he's not Mexican. He doesn't know what we're about, making fun of our race and stuff. And it's like, that's not what I'm going for. I'm just trying to create this creative game, like with the Day of the Dead that they celebrate, or just something like that. But it's the fact that I'm white that I'm doing it. And that's my bottom line. It's the white guy because it's an easy target, and it's just easy.
Okay. Burnley?
Oh, it's still going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I want a closing thought from everyone. Obviously, we could
That
continue.
whole thing.
No. Obviously, we could go on for this for like 10 episodes, but yeah, just kind of, you know, collective thought.
Well, like, I definitely agree that, yeah, like, having, you know, a white character do something or whatever is definitely, like, yeah, that is probably, the more likely than not, yeah, that is the easiest. That is the way to, like, you know, especially when the game industry is dominated, like, or, you know, like, we could say, like American society is mostly, like, white, you know?
like scared to say, like, offend me.
Because I wasn't sure what,
There's like,
like,
there's white people.
no, like, you know, like, it's not, like, I would definitely, you know, agree that this is, like, that is the easiest route to do. But the reason why that's the easiest route, and why you're having all these, like, these issues with, like, say the NAACP, or what's that guy who writes for New York Times, does all the games.
Oh, there you go.
Hi, Mama.
You got a present.
This is laptop.
Ooh.
Fancy. Hola.
That's
Oh, Abby. Continue.
Okay. Well,
He's the guy who writes
New
for
York
the
Times.
New York Times. I forget his Engage Quarrel.
Okay.
Do you guys know?
I don't know who that is.
I'm not
Okay.
sure it is.
Like games journalist.
Okay.
So like he was basically the one spearheading the whole like Resident Evil 5 thing.
Was he? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like the reason why you have these problems is that like we don't have other people making these games. Like we don't have like if we had more, you know, like say more like George, you're a Mexican. If we had more Well,
He's Middle Eastern, man.
no, like if
We had more Middle Easterns.
if we had more, you know, like Mexican game designers or whatever making games, and they don't have to make games just for the Mexican market or for other Mexican Americans or whatever, you know, like if we had more people making games, and if Georgie wanted to make some, you know, like wanted to make Devil May Cry with, you know, set in the barrio, it's like, you know, we wouldn't have such a problem with it. It's like you directly, because you the person making the game, that rubs off on what the game is. And you know, that's a lot of that's unfortunate. It's just that shouldn't be the case, because like
I totally agree.
yeah, that definitely shouldn't be the case. But like there's more social context to that, to how that person is in that spot making that game. And like games aren't alone in the world, you know, like when we make, or a book isn't alone, you know, like whatever you may be writing on, whatever you may be developing for, whatever it may be that you're creating, it has a place and is built from the things around you. And we can't ignore that.
We definitely can't. But I don't want to do this to you. We live in a society that wants to censor Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, well, we live in a society that wants to censor a book that's been around since the time when he wrote it, when that was a common thing for them to say. In a society where we can't teach our children that, because I don't know why. Like, kids say it on the street. It's so to have that broad range of stuff is I would love it, honestly. I honestly would not mind that. I would love to play a game, something like that. That's why I love Grand Theft Auto. I thought it was a different take on all of it to do that. I guess San Andreas, I should say, not just Grand Theft Auto. Even 4, you played as a European, didn't you? Like a guy from like the Baltics or something like that, the Czech Republic and all. So it's not to say that I don't think game creators want to do that. Like you talk about more creators like should be around the world. Mercury Steamed, who did the most recent Castlevania game, they're in Spain. Spanish people, a bunch of Spanish guys. There are game developers all over the world.
There are.
I completely stole this from you. I'm sorry.
No.
I mean, because this is a topic that we could probably talk about all night. It's, you know, like I said, I honestly, Burnley, if we ever made a game together, I would totally be all for probably having a black guy or a Mexican guy or a Middle Eastern guy. I wouldn't care, because I think if that fit the vision of what we were going for, I would totally be for it. You would just have to be ready, because it probably would come in bulk of the context of what you're going to get from the people of the world. Like, whether that be people that completely misunderstand it, like the sex scene in Mass Effect, how they put it on the news and they're like, this is disgusting, and you didn't even see anything. Like, you saw a blue alien butt. God forbid.
That's like, why I was scared.
Why is it blue? So
That's not how it's supposed to look like.
like I said, I didn't mean to sidetrack it. Finish if you have anything else to say. I'll
It's a great topic.
I'll finish talking.
That's
I'm
a
done
great
talking.
topic.
Yeah. Well, last thing I just wanted to say was that, like, you know, like, I think this is something that will happen. Like,
It will. It'll
and
transition.
and the reason why I think it happened is because, like, overall, the mainstream game industry is going to have less of a impact on games as a whole. Like, you can see the explosion of indie games in the last, you know, like 5, 6, 7 years or whatever, with all these people who now are in, like, people all over the world, whether they be in Spain, England, Mexico, Ecuador.
That's a woo. woo.
Somewhere NASA. Woo.
The U.S. or China, it doesn't matter. Like all these people making games, they will make the games they want to, and having all these, and it'll bring in a ton of people into both the industry, like as a whole, and into mainstream games, into indie games, and just it's going to influence a lot more. And not only that, a lot more people are playing games now, right? Like my stepmom is playing games when she wouldn't touch a video game whatsoever. So I think it'll change. And overall,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have to probably cut that one short because we could talk all day about that one.
So there you have it, folks. Thank you for joining us for this very intimate and shorter episode of Speak Geek. I'm your host, Pedro. I'm George. This is Travis. And I'm Burnley. Get out there and speak some geek, guys.